Hello my friends and welcome to today's pick a card reading. Now this is part 2 of the lunar eclipse and full moon in Scorpio reading that I did. I released one, I think it was earlier on today, and then this one should be going up a little bit later, so kind of before the eclipse and after the eclipse and the full moon has taken place. I was prompted to do a reading for both, so here we are. I've used the same decks, and you don't have to go to the same reading. Please use your intuition, or the same deck even that you went to. And also you don't have to have watched the other one as well. If you do, that's absolutely up to you. These two readings are independent because depending on how the energies affected you, you may need that reading or want to view that reading before or after. It's absolutely up to you. But I was just prompted to do a part 2 on this whole event. So we have pile 1, which is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. We have pile, sorry, did I say pile 2? That's pile 1, which is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. This is pile 2, which is the Dream Visions Tarot. And this is pile 3, which is the Tarot by Caro. Take your time, have a look at the piles, and pause the video if you need to. And the timestamps will be below, and I'll see you in your reading. Bye. Hello, pile 1, and welcome to your reading. You chose the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum today, so let's have a look at your reading. I will work like I did with the other reading. I will pull a couple of oracle cards first. I will be pulling an extra oracle card at the end, just to kind of assimilate the energy. That's interesting. So that was a reading from the reading that I did last night. Sorry, a card that I took from the reading last night, but I've actually forgot to put it back into the deck. So yeah, let's crack on with your reading. Dear Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 1 after the full moon lunar eclipse? Okay, you've got 2, so I'll take that. So we've got Buttercup, which is reversed, and then I've also got Bramble. Okay. So the first thing that strikes me about these cards is that we've got spring and then we've got summer. So there's a movement here. And Buttercup reminds me personally of childhood. In the creator of this deck, she talks about a myth of a Persian prince who falls in love with a nymph, and he's like really so in love with her that he's desperate to marry her, but because he's so rowdy, the nymph turns him into a buttercup, a buttercup, which I found quite amusing. And then with it reversed, it's telling me like there's a certain sense of slipperiness, and also just from the butter, because we have a particular thing like where, I don't know, I'm sure it's so popular. You know, you put a buttercup under your chin, and if it glows yellow, then it shows that you like butter. Probably if you've got really greasy skin, then you can probably see the reflection of the yellow. But anyway, yeah, there's that slippery element to it. But also the sense of, if I look within the tale, the Persian tale that is associated with this, determination is really good, but if you are being too much, it may go the other way and actually work against you. So I think what this is saying is there's a situation that's coming up that kind of makes me think that, yeah, it's a fine line between slipping and skating, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's a fine line to walk and you have to be aware of it. And you're not currently aware of it. I'll get more information in a minute because I think I need a bit more. And also with the brambles always remind me of summer. And these flowers, to me, they always bear like the most gorgeous berries and fruit. But it's at a cost, you know. They are tied with this, you know. There's a lot of prickles. Like you can't go like, it's not easy to forage in bramble. Even though it has this fruit. So I think there's a sense where you're really gonna have to think carefully about an approach that you're taking on a situation. And once this approach, yeah, you're going to have to really think strategically in order to get the fruit. I don't think it's too difficult. Yeah, I don't think it's too difficult, but I do think that you have to be cautious. There's something that you have to like not reconsider, but you have to think carefully about. You can't just go in and think it's easy. I get like a really easy sense with the buttercup, like it's quite simple, and in this case it's not, and I think that that's a misconception. Also, if we look at the types of flowers that they don't have many petals. I'm not sure how many petals that the buttercup has, but I always remember it didn't have many. And also bramble flowers don't have many. So it's this appearance that that it's quite simple, or that it's not very complicated, but actually there's a price to pay, you know. Yeah, let me have another look with these cards as well. Dear Spirit, oh, thank you. Wow. Okay, this is exactly the same one that came out in last night's reading. Right, okay, so we've got the owl, which is Wisdom Keeper here. It's the right way up this time. So this is telling me that this, you know, that the gateway is open to you now. The gateway for you to unlock these secrets is open. So this information that you need to consider is open to you right now. This is open. You're able to access this information. Let me just make sure you can see that. Yeah. Yeah, you're open to this information now. So, yeah. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Spirit, what messages for pile 1, post-lunar eclipse and post-full moon? What messages do you have for pile 1, post-lunar eclipse and past full moon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What messages do you have post-lunar eclipse and this full moon? What messages do you have post-lunar eclipse and this full moon? What messages do you have post-lunar eclipse and this full moon? Wow. Okay, right, so we have the 9 of Cups ending your reading. Okay, so we've got the ending. Oh dear, I'll let you into a little secret. I'm one of those people that like to read about the ending of things before I decide whether or not to watch them. Does that make me weird? I don't know, I like to know what's going on. Then I'll be like, oh, is that worth my interest? Yeah. Wow, I'm glad we got the ending actually beforehand, because these are quite interesting cards. Wow, pile 1. What's going on? Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Major Arcana out of 10. Okay, first and foremost, this situation is destined to happen. So this is part of your destiny and part of something that is needing to happen. It seems like this eclipse triggered quite a lot for you. Yeah, it really is triggering a lot. So, okay, so we've got the 5 of Swords here, reversed. So, and we also have the Chariot. We have the 6 of Swords. So from the 5 to the 6. There's the Magician reversed. There's also the 2 of Pentacles. The 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. The Hermit reversed. The Tower. And then the Hanged Man reversed. And then the 4 of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, you are releasing some energy here, Power 1. You really are. And it makes this even more clearer now. It's almost like you've been through something really tough, like you've been through something. It could be some kind of interaction with some very manipulative individual. I don't feel like this is you. I feel like this is someone else. This is almost the situation that you've been in. What's really funny is that with this particular Chariot as well, I feel like it's a getaway car. I feel like it does look like a getaway car, and it feels like you've had to almost. So what I see here is I see a possible relationship or something where someone has had to escape, where someone's had to leave, and you have refused to be defeated in this situation. So what you've had to do is you've had to hightail it out of there and just get out. This could be a relationship. It could be I don't know. I did get the feeling of like somebody trying to escape, like some kind of domestic violence situation. That's kind of what I got, or some kind of abusive violence situation, abusive situation even. And with by the way, I got some really yappy dogs, and they sound insane, so you might hear them in the background, but it's interesting how they're coming with this reading, because I just feel that it's been really precarious for you to like balance this. I don't know if any of you have seen the film Sleeping with the Enemy. That's a really interesting film about a woman that has to fake her own death in order to like leave this man. And even then she's not safe. So I don't know what you had to do, but there is some kind of like vibe of that in this situation. And you are successful. You are successful in this endeavor. Absolutely. You've managed to get away. And this lunar eclipse has actually helped you to realize that and put into action what you need to do, because it seemed to me like before you didn't realize that you were in a bad situation. You've actually decided to take matters into your own hands, but also this was all part of your learning to go through this, because with these two reversed as well, the Hermit and the Hanged Man, two quite isolating and reflective cards. It's about one person taking a path to be meditative and on their own. You're not doing that. You're taking the path. Wait, it's almost like you have been that, but now you're not. You're going. And it's interesting that this particular card is called the Tethered One, and it's reversed. You're no longer tethered. You're no longer tethered to this magician, whoever it was. But it's somebody that absolutely this character, whoever it was, I'm not really fond of them. It could also be a situation, but I think it's more, I think it's to do with a person, and whether or not it was a person or not, a person was imposing this situation on you. So even if it was a work situation, this situation could be imposed by a person. Do you know what I mean? So it would be like somebody who would be like a boss or someone like that would be creating the environment that would cause that to happen. But I don't know. I'm really getting the feeling like this is something that was the stakes were so high. The stakes were so high. You've got 6 major arcana here out of 11 cards. But if there's a higher balance to me of, like, you know, major arcanas, and also with these cards here, it's telling me that, you know, you were in a situation. It seemed like it was simple. And look at that. We've got, I think I said, like, you've got 5 petals here and 5, and it seemed like it was simple. But it really, it wasn't. It was almost like there was an entrapment going on where you believed that you were stuck in a situation where you weren't. But it's almost like you had to go through that in order to achieve this state, in order to achieve this sense of, you know, just achieve this sense of empowerment. Because now that you're free and you've managed to make yourself free, and there's a big tower moment as well, you've freed yourself. You've actually managed to let some of spirit, like, be able to come through, and now you can get what you really wished for. Wow, this has been a powerful lunar eclipse and full moon for you, Pile 1. You've actually managed to manifest your desires. I feel that, like, if you use this full moon now, you can do it tonight if you're watching in the UK or in the US. You can do it just before you go to bed or something, because the potency of the full moon is still there. But you can make a wish, you know, but capitalize upon something. Make it a wish to maximize your potential rather than make something go away. You can do that with the new moon. Okay, let's see what your lessons are. Wow, burden. Yeah, release this burden, Pile 1. Like, you've got this burden. It's been a long burden for you. It's been a real issue for you. It's almost like you have been working away. I feel this image of the ant is quite indicative of, you know, taking small chomps, taking small steps. And you see how big ant colonies can get. They're very powerful creatures when they act in numbers. So, you know, just I think this is a card to tell you that, you know, your burden will be lifted. They'll be lifted and things will move on, you know. I really do feel that for you, Pile 1, because this has been one heck of a journey you've been on. Really, it's been an immense journey. This is so integral to your growth as well. And look at that purple color. That's Sahasrara chakra. That's enlightenment. This is part of your divine goal in your soul's mission. The Spirit, what are the messages for Pile 1? Post lunar eclipse and full moon in Scorpio. Guilt. It was reversed. You're holding something. Burden. It's almost like you feel like you shouldn't have done it, but you have made the right choice. And I think that the quicker that you know, maybe a wish might be, and look, they're both the same color. Maybe a wish might be that I wish to increase my feeling of satisfaction from the decisions I've made, rather than the guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. What did I just say before I drew that card? This is about you releasing your guilt. You know, guilt is a man-made emotion. You know, we choose to feel it. that sounds so abstract, I know, and I had a lot of issues with that myself, but stay with me here. I think it's about you being able to, it's you being able to understand what is your guilt and what's not, you know. Guilt is right to feel, but that doesn't mean that, you know, you abstain from any kind of responsibility. It's about what guilt you choose to feel. And if you're guilty for leaving a situation that could have potentially harmed you, then what's going on there? That means that there's some issues with self-esteem, self-worth, toxic shame that you may need to investigate. And use that wish. You've got this wish now. You've earned this wish to do that. Yeah. Very empowering reading, pile 1. Very empowering. You've got a lot going for you because you've made some really tough decisions recently. And I feel that you just have pride in what you've done because you've worked really hard. And just because something is easy doesn't mean, like, it seems simple. That's it. Just because that something is simple doesn't mean it's easy, you know? It was a tough decision to make, but you had to get into the right mindset to get there. And you got there. You got there. You absolutely got there. And well done. I applaud you. I did say I was going to pick one of these cards, so I'm just going to do that. These are the mansions of the moon. These cards. And I think because we were doing these, we're working quite specifically with the moon. I think it would be a nice opportunity to do this. Okay, dear Spirit. There's too many. All over the floor. Wow. So crescent, waxing, fire, moon, shoots. So it's moon in Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, waxing fire moon. It's just about to appear. It's the insight. It's the initial tiny shoot that came up. And do you remember when I was doing your first card? The first card we saw was the seed, and that was just that shoot, that little shoot. So it's so interesting that we have this finishing your reading. That says to me that you have, you know, you're still in a fragile state. And it's still just the impulse. It's still just the spark, the initiative. And I mean, you know, you've just got major arcana here. The only, like, you've got swords and pentacles. You don't have cups, and you don't have wands. So you don't have, oh no, you do have a cup. You don't have any wands. Interesting. And here's your fire. So, yeah, it's all about you being able to rekindle the fire within yourself so that you can grow back that confidence and whatnot, because it seems like it's just been literally, you know, the universe has done everything it can to, like, test you in this respect. And it's interesting how these last cards are orange and pink and red. Crystal's carnelian is coming to me right now, so get yourself some carnelian, tiger's eye, anything that's really orange and lovely. This is golden healer quartz, I'd say, but I think more of a carnelian would be better for you because that ignites the fire. I think that would be a lovely stone to work with for you, and also just concentrate on that sacral chakra so that you can warm it up to illuminate that power chakra, that solar plexus chakra. All right, my darlings, I hope you enjoyed this reading. It was a pleasure reading for you. If you did like this video, please like, share and subscribe and all that other good stuff. Otherwise, I will see you in future readings. Take care, my loves, and see you soon. Bye. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. You chose the Dream Visions Tarot, so let's crack on with your reading. So let's have a look at some oracle cards. Dear Spirit, what messages do you have post lunar eclipse and post full moon. Too many. Just one, please. Thank you. I like the way Spirit answers me like that sometimes. Ivy, wow. Okay. Right. Dear Spirit. Oh, and you've got two of these guys. Candle and a holy stone. Wow, okay, right. You are divinely protected, pile 2. All of the pile, well, I mean, pile 1 is divinely protected as well, but pile 2, yeah, like it's almost like battle stations, like they've come out for you. From what I can remember, Ivy is quite protective as well. And the holy stone is a very special stone. It really guards you and protects you, and a very, very it's a very protective stone to have. And then the candle with illumination, you know, it just takes one candle to illuminate the light within a dark situation. It feels like there has been quite a dark situation that has occurred here. There's something where you've had to illuminate, you've had to like provide some light, you've had to provide some insight in this situation. Okay. So the thing about ivy is that it climbs. So no matter what, you know, even if it's a small piece of ivy that starts, it will just, you know, if you come back in a few weeks or whatever, you'll find that a whole like piece of ivy has like, you know, completely covered a whole fence or a tree, or no matter what, it's that thing where it will just almost overtake whatever it has and whatever it's on, and also it will just take one incremental step at a time in order to overtake things. It seems like here, I mean, I don't know, I just feel like this is like something that seems so small and inconspicuous can absolutely like have so much power. That's what I see here. And something as simple as a candle flame, something as simple as the holy stone. The holy stones are very, very common. If you go to like beaches, you can find them, and you can find loads of them. But they're highly protective. They're really protective, but they seem very, very, you know, mundane, bland. But the power that they hold, that's what I get from this. You're very unassuming, pile 2. You don't really, it seems like you don't, you're a lot stronger and a lot bigger and harder than you look. That's what I get from you, pile 2. You're a powerful pile already. Yeah, people might underestimate you, you know. People might think that you're not really all that. They might also take you for granted. They might also, yeah, they might not see your value, and you might feel that. Dear Spirit, what messages do you have for pile 2 post lunar eclipse? Post lunar eclipse and post full moon. Messages for pile 2. Messages for pile 2 post lunar eclipse. Messages for pile 2 post lunar eclipse. That's uncanny. I think that exact card turned up in exactly the same place for pile 2 last night. 4 of Wands, 10 of Wands reversed. So we've got Knight of Wands, Page of Cups, the Devil reversed, 8 of Cups, King of Wands, 4 of Wands, 10 of Swords reversed, 5 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, and Temperance. You do have these two, I'll take them. We have the Hermit and the Tower reversed. Right, okay. Okay, I'll pop these here. But because I will put them on there. Okay, right, so whatever you have overcome here, I think you need to question whether or not it's taken a piece of you. I feel pile 2. You know, we do sometimes some work on ourselves and we think that it's all for the greater good, but sometimes it takes something from us, and sometimes we end up worse than when we originally started. That's what I'm getting here, and the reason why I'm saying that is because the reading ends on you being out of balance, and also the Tower is not reversed, so it's almost like you missed something. Knight of Wands, Page of Cups, and King of Wands. We've got several people here that may be in the mix. I don't know, I'm not seeing like a situation. I'm seeing something to do with you and a realization of something. You've walked away from something. You've walked away from some addiction that you had to someone or something. And you've decided to take action. It could be that, there was maybe a temptation. Okay, now it's coming a bit clearer. Yeah, maybe there was like some kind of temptation that was coming through in the respect of a relationship. So maybe that there was someone that may have caught your eye, or a situation that was going to kind of take you away from what was important, or what you believed was important, because actually it's not really as important as you think it is. You're happy. I mean, there's a sense of happiness that's kind of come about, and you're okay, but there is still a sense of disappointment, and it's almost like you've lost the ability to be in harmony with people. So it's that thing, the saying that's coming to mind is that sometimes it's better to be alone. Sometimes it's better to be right and... Sorry, I can't get this right. I need to look up the quote. Sometimes it's better to compromise and not be alone rather than to be right and be alone. So when you're so determined in the fact that you're right. So what I was getting was that, there's a possibility that someone could have been in a relationship and they were like, well, I could have cheated on you, but I decided not to. And then you're expecting this person to think that you're amazing because you didn't leave them. But actually, that's not very nice. You considered cheating on this person. So now it's making this person consider whether or not that they should stay with you. That's what I'm seeing here. Obviously it doesn't have to be that situation, but I'm viewing the energy. The energy is that. It's almost like I've got my cake and I'll eat it energy. And I mean, you're doing this with a certain like level of, you know, and it couldn't, and remember, energy is fluid. Take what resonates, discard the rest. You know, this might not be your reading. I'm just reading the cards as they are. But yeah, it could also be with a situation, like it could also be with a job. It could be with a job that where like there was a lot of money involved, but then it was going to involve you like enslaving yourself, and you decided not to go for that and go for what your heart desires, and you were happy, but still you're like, I still could have had like loads of money. I still could have done that. I still could have like, you know, it's almost like you're regretting the choices that you made. Okay, now it's starting to make sense. Yeah, it's almost like you're backtracking your own decisions and you're questioning yourself, even though you know it's almost like a loss of self. Yeah. And this energies, I really don't like this. And the reason why I don't like this Five of Cups is like it's just making me think that you're moaning over something where you should really be grateful, like, and that's why this Tower is here and this Hermit is here, because it's almost like you're reaping the benefits of what's happened, but you're still like mourning it a bit. There isn't death, but I just feel this. It's like feeling sorry for yourself when you don't, and it just makes me feel a bit sick. You don't need to, because you're actually really fortunate that this situation has turned out the way it has. And it's also like, it's interesting how I'm saying that I'm feeling a bit like, a bit sick about it, because this Three of Pentacles is not really making anybody want to come near you because of that, you know? That could be the sense, and that's the energy I'm getting. Please only take what resonates, discard the rest. I did put on here that there may be a trigger warning. I'm just going to tell it as it is, but this is what I feel and this is what I see. Yeah. Yeah. So what is your lesson from this? Your lesson from this is to... Let's find out. Let's find out. Wow, okay, ancient wisdom. So there is a part of your intuition that you're forgetting. There's a part of yourself and something from your elders that you need to remember. I think these are birch trees. So you know, there's this sense of you coming back to the truth of what you are, who you are, because it seems to me that there's this forgetting, you know, this stepping out. It feels a bit premature, and also I just don't like this Five of Cups. This Five of Cups is giving me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like it. And this Knight of no, it's more this Five of Cups, if anything, because everything is quite rosy. And you're choosing, there's a choice that you're making to be like quite like stuck in what you don't have, you know? And I think you need to be grateful. There's a sense of gratitude here that needs to come across, and it's not happening. But you know what's happening as well is that it's totally throwing you out of kilter, because you're not being grateful about what's going on. You're not being thankful for your situation, because you've had a close call. You've actually made some really good decisions. I don't know if you're beating yourself up. I don't know what you're doing, yeah, right? But I don't like it. Get out of this place where you're feeling sorry for yourself, because you're feeling sorry for yourself. There's a sense of moaning about things that you don't have, when really, yeah. Do you know what? It really makes sense, because like you've got the holy stone here and you've got the candle. I said it's things that seem, and also this ivy, it's things that seem that they're there all the time. And then there's that sense of like taking it for granted. Taking it for granted, your situation. You've actually like come out with a really good situation. And look at the card we've got here, success, and it's reversed. You're not claiming it. I know that there is no greater goal than love. And it was reversed. So that's saying to me that you do not see your own success. You're kind of bypassing it. Yeah, pile two. So your lesson is to accept and learn your success. I don't know what it is that you've got. Yeah, right. That you believe that you're not, it's not even a worthiness thing. It's almost like you just, yeah, you're not even looking at it. You're like, oh, what I haven't got. All of the things I haven't got. Get over it. Sorry, pile 2. Get over it. That's your lesson. That's your lesson. Because you have blessings here. There is nothing but goodness here and blessings for you. And you know, stop looking at the negative. Stop looking at the negative. Stop being a pessimist. I see a very pessimistic kind of attitude here when all we see is just really good blessings here. Well, not so much that, but like that and these. But this is what you could have if you just, you know, it's really throwing you off a kilter. And look at what you've conquered. You've conquered the devil. You've conquered the devil. That's a lot. So, but this is your work anyway. This is part of the work. So that's the messages from the lunar eclipse. Let me just have a look. We have to do one more card, which is the mansions of the moon. Remember, pile 2, take what resonates. If you don't like it, discard it. You know, you don't have to listen to me. These are just tarot readings, random tarot readings that people do on a collective basis. This is not about you listening. This should only be a confirmation of something you already know and not something that you are taking my word for. You should know better than that. And I take it that you're so intelligent and you're so amazing, but you are being a bit of a pessimist here. You are. So fix up. Okay, right. And that's all said with love, okay? And if people are going to have a go at me for saying that, I don't care, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm trying to tell you that, you know, just be grateful for what you've got. You know, this is what it's about. You've got so much here, so much to look forward to, so much to be proud of, everything that you've achieved, so much that you've gotten over. And yet, oh, yeah, there's still so much to go through. Oh, that's life, isn't it? Too many. I can't really do it like this. Actually, these cards are a bit too big. Okay, so wedding. Wow, okay. All right, okay, I see what's going on. So there may have been something that happened. Maybe there was a big, like, a big disappointment that happened. I don't see it in the cards, but there may have been something. Maybe you're, like, upset that you don't have a love or you don't have a partner, or it might not be working out. Like, you know, I don't know, I just feel like grass is greener kind of vibe here, you know? And I think that this is not just about a wedding in the sense of a wedding of two people. This is about a marriage between you and yourself, and about how you match those energies. Because look, temperance is reversed, you know? Temperance is about that balance, and it is about you reestablishing that balance. Whatever you need to do, I would say, like, the best thing to find out on how you establish that balance is meditation. That's your first step. I would take some time to meditate. That would be my advice to you. And also have a look at where Saturn is in your chart if you are into astrology, and also where Venus is in your chart. Have a look and see what houses they're in. But that's the lesson that you need to look at, pile 2. That was a tough reading, but I'm saying it with all the love in the world. I hope you have enjoyed this reading, pile 2. Please do like the video if you liked it, but I am saying this with all the love in the world, and please do subscribe for more videos if you did like this type of reading. But thank you so much for your energy. I'm saying this with all the love in the world, but please be grateful for what you've got, because there are always people who have it so much worse than you. I promise you that. I promise you that. And just on another note, like, I didn't go over the obvious thing of a wedding, but you may, you know, this may not have happened, you know, and I totally get it, you know. If you're thinking that, like, if there's a sense of your beliefs, like you know, you had everything and then it seems like one thing is going wrong after the other. But then just think about your successes, think about what it is that's been successful in your life, and then you will manifest that, you will move towards that. And I think that's an important point to end on here. But with this Tower reversed and Temperance, there's still work to be done, and there's still some realizations that need to be worked through. Good luck with that, pile 2. I'll speak to you soon. Take care, and I'll see you in future readings. Bye. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. This is part 2 of the lunar eclipse and the Scorpio full moon reading. As I said, you don't have to have chosen, you know, the same pile as you did in the first reading. You don't even have to read the first reading, but it's just great to have you here. So you've chosen the Tower by Caro. I will choose your oracle card first. So this is the Seed and Sickle Oracle. Okay. Dear Spirit, what is happening for pile 3 post the lunar eclipse? Is there anything that they need to know? What do they need to know right now? Oh wow, Bluebell. It's interesting because the first thing I saw was the book. It's very interesting. Bluebells, 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 bluebells. Bluebells, bluebells, bluebells. My articulation needs to be better. That's the start. There's a lovely story that you know, the author of the cards does like a kind of description about it. So I'm just going to check that out about the cards. So I'm just going to check that out first, and then I'll get back to you. Hello, my friends. Well, I'm glad that I checked that because it's very interesting in respect to this card. So the glue, the sap of bluebells is used as a bookbinding glue, and it's interesting. It's also used. They were also blessed. There were blessings to mice so that they would hear cats coming near. That's why they're called bluebells. Yeah, they were like a gift from fairies. So something tells me that when things start to come apart at the seams and the glue starts to wear off, you know, there may be, this is a warning sign for you to look at what's going on. Because, so for example, like, you know, if you've got a problem with your teeth and there's something that's niggling and you don't deal with it, and I'm sure everybody did like a quick check on their teeth because I did just then. And and if there's something wrong in the mouth, you kind of like, if you just leave it and just let the pain, you know, kind of just niggle away, before you know it, something big happens, and then you'll realize that it will need some like major work. This is what this card is signifying. Something I just got, the story is not over. It's not over. Whatever it is, it's not over. The story is not over. That's what I get from that card. And this arrow as well, there could be like some kind of like love thing going on. I don't know, but it's a story that's not quite over, and it's held together. It's being held together by this this book. This book is being held together by these arrows, and it's 2 of them. Interesting, very, very interesting. Okay, let's take a look at what the Witch's oracles say. So, dear Spirit, what advice do you have for group 3? What messages for group 3? Okay, I can take 2. What messages for group 3 do we have following the lunar eclipse and the full moon in Scorpio? Holy water. And wow. Wow, wow, wow. I love that. I love that. Oh, gosh. Look at that. You got the bell and you got Bluebell. Love that. Love that so much. So there's this sense of spring. I mean, quite literally, a spring. But what's going on here? Why is that reversed? Purification, holy water purification. Something is not pure. The emotions are not, yeah, okay, right. So like there's something about the emotions that are not coming from a place that is pure. Are they coming from the heart or are they coming from somewhere else? And particularly because this is quite a sexual kind of symbol, particularly with this hair being here, and it's an awakening. This could be a return of a partnership. This could be a reconciliation of something, but you need to understand that if the motivations are correct. So this lunar eclipse and full moon maybe bringing back something. Maybe bringing back an old thing. But I'm just questioning this holy water. I don't know if it's pure. I don't think it's as holy as it seems. Is it really a blessing? But you've got like warning here. You've got like the warning signs, you know, that idea of like the fairies. I can't believe it. The fairies that are here, or the fairies that are blessing the bluebells in order to help the mice escape the cat. You know, it's like you've got a warning here. We've got 37, 17 and 6. So then that's 10, 8 and 6. So we've got 6, 8, 10. We've got like steps. It's almost like you're going a little bit backwards. So there may be this retraction. They may be coming back to something that might not be so great. Okay, let's have a look at what the tarot has to say. This is quite exciting, actually. Okay, right. So, dear Spirit, what messages for pile 3 post-lunar eclipse? Post-lunar eclipse and solar and post-lunar eclipse and full moon in Scorpio. What messages for pile 3 post-lunar eclipse and moon in Scorpio? Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. What are the messages post-lunar eclipse and for pile 3? Pile 3, what are the messages? I think something didn't work out before. I think because I said that this was a reconciliation, I think this is the reason why it didn't work out. You know, things weren't getting off the ground, things weren't starting, things weren't happening. It just wasn't blossoming into anything. It wasn't becoming anything. It was nothing. It was actually like, you know, when the fool is in its detriment, it's kind of, you know, it doesn't, he falls off the cliff, you know? So, everything died, you know, it's just a no. The star is no hope. So, you know, there was no hope in this situation because it seemed like there was this constant kind of like trying to do it, trying to go off the cliff. But I don't know, I just get this image of lemmings just going off of the cliff. I don't know if any of you remember that game. Yeah, I kind of sense that. And also this, the reality of the situation was that you had to do things on your own and you had to like have some kind of rest. Yeah, this is definitely like, it feels like a reconciliation. It feels like this is what happened in the past. And almost like the glue wasn't strong enough, you know? You had to do things yourself. You had to be by yourself. You had to rest and do things yourself because you weren't happy with what was there. Dear Spirit, what messages for pile 3? No. Dear Spirit, what messages for pile 3? Wow. The Spirit, what messages for pile 3? Thank you. Wow, okay. Doesn't matter where these are. They still mean the same thing. Okay, right, so it seems like you are making a move to have contact in this situation. If this isn't a relationship, I don't know, I really feel like it's something that it could be an old habit. It could be something that you knew wasn't good for you. But I don't know, this to me, it was a lot of faith that you put into this thing. And maybe a venture or a project or something that was going to give you some kind of stability. But in fact, actually, yeah, this is quite two strong different messages. But also, like, you know, the roots, it was uprooted, so you were able to see what was the truth of the situation, because it didn't work out. Do you know what I mean? So because things didn't happen the way that you wanted it to, because it wasn't the beginning that you wanted it to, it actually led you to discover more about yourself and about who you were and about how things are, how relationships, how family dynamics occur, how systems work. You were able to like show all of that, and it made you realize that what you had actually wasn't enough. You know, I just feel like there's this real longing for more. So there was this process of you going deep into some kind of meditation, some kind of like process where you were just resting deeply. And what's really interesting is that here we have like a mother and the daughter like sitting on her lap, or it could be a man, I'm not sure, but it's just interesting how this kind of, it's almost like a revisiting of the memories, and like the 3 swords are here and the 4th sword is here. So this 3 of swords here is indicative of like some kind of heartbreak that occurred. So it's revisiting that and healing that, and then you feel like you've healed it. So now you're ready to communicate on a wider level. You're ready to communicate with people. You're ready to put this out there. It feels like an awakening. It feels like things have changed, particularly from the 4 of Swords to the Hermit. I mean, I don't, you know, if you were going to think of a card that actually signified what the 4 of Swords was, you know, it's either the Hermit or the 4 of Swords. The Hermit is like the Hanged Man are both these kind of cards that would be in, like, synonymous with the 4 of Swords. Sorry, my words took a while to come out there. You can skip over that bit if you wish. But this King of Pentacles, it's very destabilizing, whatever's going on, this communication. I don't know. I feel like it's a rekindling of something, as I said, something that is not, something that's just not 100%. Like, it's not, there was a reason why it didn't work out, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm getting. And there's a real lack of stability. It could be a almost possibility of this stability, but it isn't that. It's not offering you that. In fact, I really do. I personally, I see the King of Pentacles reversed as a bit of a lesser devil, you know? It's very attractive. It's giving you, and it's really interesting how just one of his legs is out. You know, it's kind of a bit sexy. It's like saying, you know, I've got all these things. I've got these things I want to offer you. But yeah. So yeah, that's what the offer is coming back. You kind of know better. You know it. Oh God. But the thing is that like you know, I'm just getting the feeling with this 4 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles reversed. If there is something that you know that has worked in the past, there's a possibility that you might go back to it. Do you know what I mean? And the scenario that I'm thinking of is quite specific. But it's like, say for example, like you do reconcile in a relationship and you do decide to go back to it. Why are you going back to it? Are you going back to it because of, you know, because it's just you kind of know what to expect, so it's a safe option? That's what I'm getting from here. And that doesn't have to be about a relationship. It could be about anything. It could be about a habit. It could be about a place you used to visit. You know, it could be like, say, for example, if somebody used to go to a particular pub where they used to really like it there, and then they go down there because they know that the same old faces will be there, the same old people will be there, and they know that they can have a good time, and they'll be doing that for until their end of their days. So if you go back to this place, it's going to be comforting. It's going to be like, what is the situation? It's going to be nice. So there's a little bit of a blockage there. And what the full moon eclipse is telling you is that you need to be aware of this. You need to be aware. There is some comfort here, I sense, in you being on your own. There is some comfort. You've got your own things and you are presenting this high priestess energy. I don't feel like anything is going to be expended in a sexual manner. I just feel like you even just entertaining the idea. This is what is presented. So you just need to be aware of that. If that makes sense. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay. Wow, you got the same one as pile 2. So you got ancient wisdom. So there is intuitive knowledge within you that needs to be tapped into. And I feel like you're doing that. I feel like that's what you're doing. Like you it's almost like you can see. So I think also what this message is that you kind of know what the pitfalls are. And just because you know them doesn't mean that it's safe to fall into them. Does that make sense? So like, for example, if you like, it's almost like, oh, well, I know that this is going to happen, because even if you do, it's like drinking water that isn't like pure. It's like you're so thirsty, but you will still drink the water even though you know it's not pure, and then you end up getting sick. That's kind of what I'm feeling. That's kind of what I'm sensing here. And I'm sensing it because, I mean, we don't have the devil here, so like it's a lower form of temptation, but by golly, it really is like there is a temptation here, because it is tempting, but it's almost like you can see through it and you're like, I know it's bad for me, but should I really go for it? Oh, but there isn't really anything else around, you know what I mean? So yeah. Oh gosh. Interesting situation. I'm laughing because I resonate with it. That's the reason why I laugh. If I laugh, then you know that it's because like I find some resonance with it. I can understand it. I can feel it. Pile 3, I can feel it. Okay, dear spirit, what messages? Oh wow, how does that happen? How do you get exactly the same one as pile 2? So then there's this thing, like, you know it. I mean, pile 2 was similar. You know it, and I think that gratitude and success, oh, sorry, I'll just show you what it is. It's success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So you know that, you know, what essentially you want is something that's, yeah, I mean, it's a different context here. Rather than accepting that you are successful, I think in this context, you don't believe that you can be successful. There's a part of you that doesn't believe that you can be successful, which is really interesting. Almost like you don't believe that you deserve it. That's why you're like kind of sticking with what you've got. And you're like, I think I'm going to just stick with this because this is what I deserve. You deserve so much more, pile 3. You really do. You really do. You know, you've got there's some trauma going on here. So, you know, and you need to work through that. But I mean, yeah, don't go back to old patterns and behaviors. Don't go back to old things that made you really miserable. Remember your worth. Okay, let's do this last card here, which is the Mansions of the Moon. This spirit, what's the final messages for pile 3 for this lunar eclipse? Wow, look at that. Black moon Lilith. Love that. I'm going to read you what it says actually, or maybe I might not actually, because it might be too long and your reading's already gone over. So let me just double check what that means. So pile 3, like what I know of Lilith, and she was, to me, this picture, I got this picture as a present, the original form, which is on the stone cuneiform tablet, which is in, I think you can find it in the British Museum, but if you just Google Inanna, which is Innana, I think, you can find it, and she is the Sumerian goddess of, you know, their main Sumerian goddess. She was the goddess of life. And the way that like this particular card has depicted her has been the idea of, and she also had the owl as well. This is just like a kind of drawing that the artist has done here. And what I think is really interesting is that they've weaved a lot of different interpretations into the card. But the main thing I'm getting here is that you need to stand in your truth. You need to be really strong in who you are, because, you know, people are going to think a certain way of you. And if you go back to old patterns, old habits and desire and things that are coming back to you, I think that's not going to be in your best interest. What I also noticed is that you've got some really ancient magic here. You've got a book, you've got the arrows, you've also got wisdom, ancient wisdom, you've got the hermit, and then you've also got the high priestess, and you've got Lilith. There is some deep, I would really implore you to trust your intuition and trust what you are thinking and saying and feeling, because your intuition is far stronger than any advice that you could seek from other people. I think this is also telling me that Scorpio in the black moon, I mean, you can't really get more, you know, that's pretty auspicious, the fact that we have Scorpio and we have this kind of it's new moon, but considering that it was an eclipse, the moon was covered, so it's a black moon, it was a blood red moon. So I think it's just really interesting that we have this kind of figure that's been demonized throughout history, and you may have been in this position as well, you know, because of not accepting this thing and also going through this transformation that you have done. Just be aware that there may still be people that are not ready to accept you for who you are, which I understand is why, you know, there's this kind of block against you really receiving your success. And the message from, you know, from the moon and the eclipse is embrace who you are. Embrace your beauty. Embrace everything that you are representative of. Embrace your womanhood. And don't be scared to fight for who you are, because you are an incredibly magic being and an amazing being at that. You know, you are the glue that holds certain things together. You are the water that quenches the thirst of others. Just make sure that what you're drinking is pure. All right, my darlings, I think that's all I have for you. Please do like this video if you did like it. Please do subscribe for more if you would like to see some more. I upload daily. But otherwise, please, thank you. Sorry, not please, but thank you so much for giving me your energy, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care, my loves. Bye.